Alright guys, welcome back to T-Bone Southern Ride presents Rocking, Shocking October of Motos and Mayhem. As we're going down the road at half the speed we need, I have forgotten to do a couple things, but one just got taken care of. Anyway, as we're going down the road at half the speed we need, riding Big Papa. Of course, got R1 back there. Don't know if I tilt my head to the side. You guys might see her. She's rocking and riding back there. Tell you what, guys, beautiful, beautiful autumn weather. I mean, we had some serious rain come through last week that kind of just did its thing all over the place. But, man, what a change just in a short amount of time. Of course, the leaves are in full color change, getting there. But of course, that, you know, that weather that we had come through last week with the rain and the wind, it kind of did a number. If you're a leaf looker and you're thinking about coming to the North Georgia mountains to look at the leaves, you better hurry, because there's a lot of naked trees standing around. A lot of leaves are already down. But guys, here we are. Back with another episode of Rocking, Shocking October of Motos and Mayhem. Guys, we're getting close to the halfway point. I was actually going to do the Stephen King movie for this video, but I actually want to do... Actually, you know what? I'm just going to mid-change and say I'm going to do the Stephen King video next. So the next episode of Rocking, Shocking October of Motos and Mayhem will be the Stephen King movie. But this movie, guys, right here today, I'm going to talk to y'all about is we're going to take you, what me and R1 want to do is we've got a road that we really enjoy riding. It's a shorter road, but we have a lot of fun riding it because it's just so beautiful. But we'll talk about that a little more when we get a little closer to it. But I don't know if I'm going to put these movies in the header, but you've seen, let's see, so far we have covered The Hills Have Eyes. We have covered the Comedy of Terror, Beetlejuice. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm lost now. I can't remember a lot. Anyway, this one is the 2013 movie that had Jessica Chastain in it, called Mama. Now, the way they build this movie in 2013 with the trailers that they were putting out and everything, it was billed as a true horror fan movie. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this movie, golly bum, what a leaf. Do you hear that? That leaf hit and made noise. Good grief. Anyway, Mama actually hit and did not disappoint as a horror movie. Of course, I think about everybody's probably seen that movie. It wasn't one of those that Hollywood blasted out that went under the radar, sorry, because there was a lot of fanfare for this movie when it first came out. And of course, you know, it kind of falls under the category of could be considered an old wives' tale, you know, or just a good spooky story to tell your kids to get them to go to bed at night kind of thing. And when I say that, a lot of kids today look at me like I'm crazy. If you think back to when we were kids, the quote-unquote lullabies that they used to, you know, sing for us when we were kids, they were all pretty well much horror stories. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's going to buy you a mockingbird, and if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's going to buy you a diamond ring. And then it just keeps going on. You're in the treetops, down will come baby, cradle and all. They were horror stories. They essentially scared us into going to bed when we were kids. But anyway, Mama was a very, very chilling movie. Essentially what you have is a dad who for whatever reason, whether it be through embezzlement, siphoning funds off, whatever, he's ended up in a lot of trouble. So he goes home, grabs his 2 young daughters, puts them in the car, and takes off, trying to escape the fate that he has brought down on himself, and ends up having a car wreck. But yeah, so everybody, him and both of his daughters they survive the accident, and they go off the road into the woods, and they end up finding this cabin out into this wooded area. And pretty well much what you end up with is the dad has decided that, you know, he can't do prison time, and he doesn't want his daughters to be cursed with his name. So excuse me, guys, ragweed is still in bloom. But anyway, he decides that he's going to kill his 2 daughters and kill himself. Well, what he don't realize is that they're not alone in that cabin. Enter Mama. He tells the girls to turn around and face the wall, and before he can do anything stupid, Mama essentially grabs him, and he's gone. Gone, children, gone, 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 gone. He ain't gone, gone. He gone, 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 gone. Never to be heard from again. And of course, that sets forth a whole... Man, there's crap bouncing off of my helmet in every direction. Good grief. I'm sure the microphone had to have picked that up. That actually made some noise inside my helmet. But made so much noise I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, you know, he's gone, and essentially for maybe a year, little over a year, a couple of years maybe, Mama has got these 2 kids, and of course now Mama is a ghost. She's a specter. She's a little bit of everything, Mama is. Of course, she's raising these 2 girls, and the dad's brother is blowing through all of his money trying to find the girls' location, figure out where they're at, where the wreck was happening. They're searching the woods, and finally a couple of guys find the girls in the woods, and they bring them in. And of course, now having lived in the woods for 2 or 3 years, and it may be longer than that, but I'm thinking it was a 2 or 3 year time span, the girls are not really, how can I delicately, but you know what, they're just not really digging the whole human scene by this point. They're living in the woods. They're wild animals, essentially is what I'm trying to get to. But the oldest one retained enough of her memories that she is kind of able to adapt back into life with her uncle and the uncle's girlfriend. And Jessica Chastain, of course, plays the uncle's girlfriend, and she's a rocker chick, and she's not certain that she's wanting to be a mom, and you know, that's a whole different story on its own. But inside this movie, the oldest daughter is able to adapt and become a kid again, essentially. Although Mama follows them into the new house with the uncle and the girlfriend, essentially the oldest girl, and I wish I could remember the characters' names, but guys, I'm getting to where I can't remember stuff like that. But anyway, she is trying to be the bridge between Mama and the uncle and the uncle's girlfriend, knowing that Mama's not going to play no games. If you know, if the uncle and his girlfriend get out of hand, Mama's going to take them apart piece by piece. And the youngest girl, she, you know, Mama is the ghost, and that's the Mama she knows because she was so young when the dad did all his crazy stuff. Mama is the ghost with the most for her. That's her mom. The ghost is her mom. She don't know any other way. And really, she doesn't know anything other than being a wild child, living out in the woods in a cabin, being raised by a ghost. That's pretty well much that was the hand that life dealt her, and that's the hand that she's playing. But it kind of builds up to a, and of course I won't give the end of the movie away in case you haven't seen it, but it does have a very sad ending. I mean, which very much I think was the writer, director, and the producer's goal for the movie, was to, you know, it's kind of 50% happy, 50% sad. Mama plays a big part at the end of the movie, and you kind of get the backstory. You learn who she is, what she went through, and essentially in the case of Mama the Ghost is just reliving what Mama the Human went through, kind of stuck on the parallel plane, still having to relive those moments. But it's a you know, it's a straight up horror movie, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It's listed as a horror thriller, and yeah, it's, you know, any horror movie's got thriller vibes, but this is a straight up horror movie. If you don't like certain things, and what I would suggest, Mama 2013, if you've never actually watched this movie, jump on YouTube. There's plenty of trailers for the movie. Watch the trailers to the movie. You know what? Even if you watch the trailers and you think it might not be that bad, don't just rest on that thought that it might not be that bad, because it touches some very sensitive subjects. Of course, if you're a snowflake and you're going to melt, this definitely is not the movie for you. Don't watch Mama, because if you've never watched it and you don't know nothing about it, then you're safe. You don't need to know nothing about it. But for my true horror movie fans who haven't seen it, and I'm sure that's a small number of people who've never actually watched the movie Mama, if you haven't watched it as a horror fan, you need to get caught up this October. And I'm not going to do a video separately. I thought since I was doing Mama, I would throw another movie in there that came out kind of around the same time. They're not a franchise. I just wanted to touch on both of these movies in the same video because they kind of came out around the same time and they made sense. Both movies did. But the other movie is Orphan. It's a horror movie about a grown woman who has some kind of disease that keeps her small like a child, and as she ages she uses makeup to keep looking young, and she just straight up comes into families' homes and just kills everybody. She's like a freak. But the name of that movie is Orphan. You can Google that movie and get the info on it. So there it is, guys. Kind of two movies on this video, Orphan and Mama. Mama was, I will be honest with you, Mama was a weird movie. It was a horror movie, but it was kind of weird, but I like weird. So it was weird in a good way. I enjoyed it because, you know, you could kind of picture the story. Maybe not a ghost raising some kids in the woods, but certainly there's stories from the past where, you know, but kids have been raised in the woods by, you know, mountain people, or of course the boy who was raised by wolves. I mean, it's not a far away concept. Let me just say it that way. So it's not a far out concept that this thing could happen. So welcome back to, so let's just you know, Mama 2013, check it out. Jessica Chastain movie. If you can't remember the name, just Google Jessica Chastain and it will pop up under her movies. Mama, Orphan, a couple of Halloween movies you want to really check out. I hope that since you guys have seen that the video, if you're following me, if you've seen the video for Comedy of Terror, I do know at this time YouTube still has it up. I checked on that this morning. It is still there. So I want you to check out all these movies, even if you watched them. If you haven't seen them in a while, go back and check them out. Give them another watch. Comedy of Terror, I could watch that every year for Halloween and just be tickled to death. But yeah, I mean, that's Mama was one of those movies that was definitely not a timid movie. If you're a timid person, don't watch it. But anyway, let's say welcome back to the Picture in Picture. Now, you guys have seen a couple of videos with me riding Blue Moon, just my forward-facing camera. When I changed the bars out on Blue Moon and I put those new bars that are on it, I've got to remember, and I remember how I mounted that camera onto the bars that was on the FLT, and there was barely between the controls and the end of the control arm where you mount your controls on the bar. There was just enough room for me to fit that mount. This set of bars that I put on Blue Moon doesn't have that much room. So, I can mount the camera down here on the bars, but then you're looking up at me. You're looking up at me right here. You're looking at me from down there. You're looking up at me, and you're not seeing nothing. You're just watching the sky, basically. You see this part of my head up, and you're watching the sky. So I'm gonna check different mounts. I know Walmart in their GoPro section, of course it's the ONN brand, it's not the GoPro brand. Guys, if you're going to do this, or if you're doing this, let me make a suggestion. Don't buy GoPro brand name equipment, because the ONN equipment that Walmart sells is 20 times cheaper. You can buy a whole kit and get mounts and everything that you need for like 20 bucks. Don't buy the actual GoPro brand, because you're just paying for something that you can buy in an off-brand that works just as good. The Ulanzi mount that this camera's in is not a GoPro brand, and it works perfectly. It holds the camera, it holds all the adapters I need for my microphone. Man, it never stops here on Highway 5. No matter which way you go, no matter what road you're coming off of, you're always dealing with traffic. But yeah, I don't never buy the actual GoPro name brand stuff, because you're just wasting money, in my opinion. Like, my microphones cost all of about $7. You don't have to buy a couple $100 microphone to get good audio. $7 a microphone, and my audio comes through fine. It's all about placement inside the helmet. And you know, I'm going to do a review on my cameras at some point, because I have had people ask me, you know, T-Bone, what camera are you using? Which setup are you using? And I'm actually going to do a video on that. But what I can tell you now, if you're watching and you're listening to what I'm saying and paying attention, do not buy a cheap off-brand camera, because you cannot get the external audio. Walmart sells the Vivitar camera, and I think they're like $60 a camera, which if you're just doing blogging or you're just walking around talking, those cameras are excellent for that, because they have decent internal microphones. But doing what I'm doing, GoPro is the only camera that I've found. Now, somebody else out there listening may know of another camera that has the same external adapter setup for microphones. But so far as I know right now, GoPro is the only company that puts out a camera that you can hook external microphones up to and get good audio out of them. So, like I said, somebody else may know of a different company that may do the exact same thing and may not cost as much. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, my cameras are used, but if you go buy these things brand new, and of course the camera you guys are looking at me on is the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and the camera that I put on my face is the GoPro 8 Black. And the reason I was using this one, and I still use the 7 when I'm doing the off-roading with T-Bone because they're shorter clips. But the reason I had to get a different camera for my helmet is because I tried to turn it off and there was no way to do it. At a certain point on the Hero 7, the big screen on the back that I look into to see my recording status, my timing, my battery, would go black. It would just go into like a screensaver mode and it would just go black. So I never knew if my camera was actually doing what it was supposed to be doing. But the Hero 8 does not do that. It's constantly there so I can see what I'm doing. But it works out with the Hero 7 facing me because the Hero 7, just like the 8, has this front screen on it, so I can actually see what this camera is doing, making sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And of course it has my timer on it. It has my battery display on it, letting me know how much power the battery's got left on it. So everything's on that front display, so it actually works out good for the picture-in-picture. So, but I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to jump off here for a minute, and we're going to get over here to this road that I want to record on for you guys. So I'll see y'all in just a minute. All right, guys, so we're out here on Hardscrabble Road, and we're getting close to the road that me and R1's wanting to take you guys down on this trip. And of course now Hardscrabble Road is a pretty road to ride on. At this time of the year, any road's a pretty road to ride on. But we're getting close to the turnoff down here, so I'll see y'all in just a second. Okay, guys, if you decide that you want to take this ride that me and R1's on right now, you're going to go to Hardscrabble. From Hardscrabble to New Liberty. Now, New Liberty is going to go up here in Fork. If you go straight, I know used to. Now, I may be speaking wrong here, but I know used to. If you stayed on New Liberty and followed it straight, after you went to a certain point, it turns to gravel. So if you're not adventuring or riding off-road or don't want to ride off-road, you might not want to follow New Liberty all the way out, because we're coming to the turnoff right up here. That actually is the road that we wanted to take you guys with us down today. And of course, like I said, New Liberty goes straight, and then you turn on to Watson Gap Road. Now, this is the beginning of the ride right here, the road. You know, this is just an easy, laid-back, short road to ride in what we all just kind of, the locals just all refer to it as the hothouse area. But man, guys, trees turning, beautiful colors. I'm not sure how much of this the camera's actually picking up, but you know, and I know some younger people might be watching this video going, dude, look, we don't care about leaves dying and falling off trees, so what are you talking about? But once you reach a certain age and you start looking at the beauty that God laid out for you, because when you're living in your 20s and your 30s, you're living in fast forward. You know, literally, I look back and I say it all the time, but you know, 24 years. Next month, me and Regina will be married 24 years. And literally 24 years just fell off of the camera like what seems like overnight. Because we were married in '97, and Cheyenne was born in December of 2000. And then after that, after Cheyenne was born, man, time just sped up. You know, my baby is turning 21 in 2 months. In 2 months, my baby will be 21 years old. I call her my baby. She hates that. Of course, you know, she's living in her own apartment in Dahlonega with a boyfriend, got a great job. They're starting their life together, and I still have a difficult time with it. I have a hard time with it, you know, because you don't want to turn loose of your babies. But to not get off on that, but anyway, 24 years, guys, fell off the map. And I think back over that 24 years and I thought, man, out of all that time, 24 years, I've been riding motorcycles my whole life, but there was always a purpose and a point behind the ride. I never rode just for the sake of getting out and enjoying the rides. I was always, there was a point behind my ride, meaning I was going somewhere, I had to be there, because I rode motorcycles just as a regular ride, you know, mode of transportation like cars and trucks. But in 24 years, how much with firefighting, wrestling, how much did I actually just literally stop and look at what was around me? And I always knew, of course I've always known that our home here is beautiful. Now right here, guys, this changes into Johnsonville Road. I need to let y'all know that in case you're using the GPS. You're going to go from Watson Gap Road to Johnsonville Road. This is Johnsonville. Still, the road don't, you know, you're not taking any turns. You just, the road changes names and turns into Johnsonville. But in 24 years, you know, you look back and you go, man, how much how much stopping and smelling the roses did I actually do? Because when you're young, you don't think about what big life changes are going to happen once you reach a certain age. Because, you know, yesterday it seemed like I was a teenager, and today I'm middle-aged and crazy. And I say that with all pride, because I'm going to tell you something, guys. The 44 years that I've been on this planet, the last 24 has been worth living. The first 20 years of my life, and I've said this before, and y'all probably get tired of hearing it, but the first 20 years of my life weren't really worth a spit for nothing. I wasn't a very productive human being, and I was outlaw. I'm just going to say it. I didn't care. I don't care. Just tell y'all that I didn't care about anything. And but the second half of my life, if I died today, the second half of my life has been amazing. God really blessed me. So now I've reached the age where I don't have to be there in a hurry. I don't need to go there in a hurry. And once you get to that, then you start enjoying what life has given you. And then there's Hot House Road. We call this the Hot House area, but that's actually Hot House Road right there. And I'll have to explore Hot House Road in my truck before I ride the motorcycle on it, because it's been a while since I've been on it and I don't remember what the road's about. But here we are, this little pull-off here. Me and R1 usually try to stop at this little pull-off, so let me get off and then we'll record just a little bit. But guys, check this out. I mean, beautiful little spot. Like I said, this is on Johnsonville Road. If you're coming out of Murphy, just turn left on Johnsonville Road. Of course, if you're coming off Hardscrabble, turn on to New Liberty. But just, you know, it's about taking time, enjoying what God puts out there for you. Beautiful autumn weather. You know, me and R1 doing the ride together. Got Big Papa out here. But check this out, guys. But anyway, guys, it's kind of acting like it wants to cloud up just a little bit, so I don't want to get out here and get caught in the rain today, but slow down and enjoy it, guys. Remember to check out Mama, check out Orphan, and we're reached the halfway point. Next video is the halfway point, Stephen King movie. So remember to keep your eyes out for that, and remember, drop down comment, what movie do you think it'll be? It'll be a Stephen King standard, but it may not be the one you think. But Remember, if you're on YouTube, watch us, hit that thumbs up button, comment. The algorithm likes to comment, just say watched it. Check us out on Facebook, do the same thing. And find us on Instagram, guys, at tbones_southern_ride, because I always post what I'm about to do on Instagram. But guys, until the next time, we're going to see if we can't beat the rain home, because it wasn't supposed to rain today, but I don't believe the weatherman. Until next time, guys, I'm T-Bone. This has been the Southern Ride.